Say you wake up in the middle of the night. It's all dark and spooky and your nightlight's broken. You go to roll over to check your phone, but find you can't move. Like there's a weight pinning you down. You feel like you're being watched. Like something is there. Like the essence of a person. It only lasts a few minutes, but it feels like hours have passed as this shadow stares at you. Or maybe that's your thing. I mean, I'm not here to kink shame. Somnophilia, it's called, by the way. Suddenly you're fine, though. You wake up, you sit up, you're in a cold sweat, heart racing, and you scan the room. Nothing but clothes sitting on the dresser, and a dark, empty room. Well, what just happened? Was it a trick of the brain? A bad dream? Did your stalker finally make it past your DIY security system? For the last time, Susan, stop being a tsundere. Or was it a shadow person? The idea of the shadow person has existed throughout history, throughout multiple cultures and eras. They appear as a shadow-like figure standing ominously, as if to watch or observe. They've been sighted as people are resting in their beds, in the corners of room, or even in reflections or dreams. Some speculation is that shadow people are ghosts, spirits trapped in the realm, unable to pass beyond the veil. They appear to connect or mourn their own loss, perhaps pass along a word of comfort, or to come and insult you and tell you that life is a meaningless joke. These theories have also tied another phenomenon to the shadow person, known as the Hatman. The Hatman's origins are somewhat more modern, tied to the creepypasta and urban lore landscapes with figures like the Slender Man, Momo, and Jeff the Killer. The Hatman is a shadowed figure described similarly to the shadow person, but, and this is the important part, has a hat. Specifically a lovely wide-brimmed hat to, really peacock so he can get some of that ectoplasmic tail. Encounters describe having a sense of dread, fear, and panic accompanying it, and usually with the crushing weight pinning you down. The Hatman is unusual in this regard, however, because unlike the common shadow person experience, the Hatman has been seen in other locations, in dark alleyways, passing by windows, or even bumping into people. Another theory that explains the shadow person phenomenon is astral projection. Astral projection is an esoteric occult belief in being able to separate your spiritual essence and project it into another space. It's a premise that's been explored by numerous cultures by means of ritualistic meditation or by the use of psychedelic drugs, such as LSD or ayahuasca.
Alright, let's ride this dragon.
People who believe this theorize the concept of a shadow person could be the manifestation of this spiritual entity, or the perception of it. It gets much more in depth, but I just did an episode on New Age beliefs and philosophies with the Lemuria episode, and I just can't again. Paranormal message boards have several stories of personal encounters with shadow people.
I felt a pressure on my chest, and it crept closer up my body, becoming heavier. When it reached my head, I could hear my name being shouted louder and louder until it became a scream. It always starts as a dream. Wherever I'm going, the dream will lead me into a familiar staircase. As I turn the corner up the stairs, it appears. I'm startled awake, but I can't move. I look for it, knowing it's there waiting to do something bad, until finally I could sit up in a cold sweat, heart pounding. It happens every time I fall asleep on my back. I wake up and I can't tell if my eyes are open or shut, but I can see my whole room. A dark presence is lurking on top of my wardrobe, and as soon as I notice it, I try and scream, but I can't scream, and I can't move. The darkness slithers down the side of my wardrobe, across the floor, and looms over the end of my bed. Then it creeps all over me, trying to invade every orifice. I feel an immense pressure like it has me pinned down, and it's pushing its way into my eyes, ears, and mouth.
Oh boy, okay, stranger danger! Okay, maybe you're not into all the metaphysical mumbo and or jumbo. Let's talk more practical explanations? Maybe it's time travelers. That shadow people are actually visual representations of people traveling into the past, and we are only able to see a perception of them because they do not exist yet into our universe. Which is just... Okay, so let me check. It could be ghosts, demons, spiritual essences of a dude on ayahuasca, or maybe, just maybe, your brain's fucking broken. One of the most common occurrences attached to shadow people is the condition known as sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis episodes involve not being able to speak or move while falling asleep or upon waking. This usually lasts 1 to 2 minutes and is often fucking terrifying. This condition is a side effect of not being able to pass gradually through the levels of sleep. In a basic sleep pattern, you'll experience REM, rapid eye movement, and NREM, non-rapid eye movement, in 90 to 180 second cycles. The body uses these cycles to regulate functions such as memory conversion and respiration. But if you have a dumb brain that wants to be a real dick about things, you can develop a neurological disorder, like narcolepsy. The most practical theory in the science community is that shadow people are a side effect of the interrupt in this REM and NREM cycle. That's because the brain is not able to gradually slip into or out of it, so the mind is essentially still unable to discern thought from visual input, causing the creation of visual manifestations. But does this explain everything? Does it explain the stories that always seem to exist and always seem to pop up? From Islamic lore to Shakespearean sonnets about dark figures freezing a man in his steps. Is it just a trick of neurology? What about the encounters when people are wide awake, when they're not being impacted by the REM and NREM cycle? I guess we won't ever truly know until we ourselves pass the veil, likely from heart disease or a gunshot. Now, if you'll excuse me, that whole ayahuasca gag I pulled earlier, it's starting to kick in. And I gotta tell the rainbows that are coming out of my forehead to, maybe be a little less vibrant. Anyway. Just one take and then which actually works out because then I end up with like mixed in like that whole cheese segment in the last episode. Yeah, where I was like, how else am I supposed to get through all this? Cheese.